Sometimes, life gives you a second chance, not because you deserve it, but because you need it. Welcome back to the Velvet Story, where emotions speak louder than words. In chapter 20 of Pretend, everything changes. A silent hug missed, a golden moment lost, and a little voice finally says Mama. Heartbreak Man's heart flutters. Revolving hearts Geet finds warmth in her son's voice. Stethoscope and Abhi, brave beyond years, teaches everyone what strength looks like. This isn't just another chapter, it's the heartbeat of the story. Let's dive into this emotional ride together. And sometimes, it only takes a child's voice, called Mama, to change everything. Man is shocked. No, he is beyond the word shocked. Geet actually hugged him, and what did he do? Nothing. He didn't even hug her back. Just as he was about to take her into his embrace, she pulled away. Oops, he thought, realizing he missed the chance. I'm really very thankful to you all, Geet began sincerely, her voice steady but full of emotion. She turned slightly to Annie. For trying. Then she looked at Dave. For giving. Finally, her eyes met Man's. And for taking the risk. No one else seemed taken aback by her action. They had seen her hug Dave before, but something stirred within Man. Something unfamiliar. For the first time, he felt a strange emptiness, a sense of something lost. He had missed a golden opportunity. Man composed himself quickly, pushing away the unfamiliar emotions. Mom, you are breaking your own rule. Please maintain a one-hand distance, he said, slipping back into his guarded self. Geet wasn't shocked by his words. A small knowing smile touched her lips. Yeah, I'll remember that in the future, Mr. Khurana, she said playfully. She settled into her seat as Meera began to check everything once again. Good morning, Dr. Mir. Good morning, Geet. Good morning, Dr. Rana, Geet responded warmly. How were your holidays? Oh Mir, I really missed you, Dr. Rana said with a grin. Really, Dr. Rana? Meera raised an eyebrow. Don't you believe me, Mir? Of course, Dr. Rana, Meera answered, rolling her eyes. Geet, come to my cabin. We need to talk, he suddenly said in a serious tone. Then, without waiting, he turned and walked away. I'll be back. Meanwhile, Meera, he's flirting with you. I know, you think I'm so naive I wouldn't notice? Nope, I wouldn't dare, Geet replied, leaving Meera slightly flustered. Scene shift. In Dr. Rana's cabin. Geet, I got to know everything about Mrs. Rathore, but why didn't you call me when the situation was out of control? Dr. Ashutosh Rana asked, his concern obvious. Dr. Rana, you were on your holidays. I didn't want to create obstacles in your personal time, Geet explained, keeping her voice calm. Geet, my patient's safety is more important than myself, he said firmly. I know, Dr. Rana. But I remembered how you once said, Mama never leaves me, so I didn't want to create any hurdle when you were entering your new life. Thank you, Geet, for not letting anyone influence your judgment. I believe she will be fine soon too. But never think you're creating obstacles. I am a doctor first, he assured her. Dr. Rana, do you think? I am changing her medicines, and I've requested expert consultation as well, he interrupted gently. Thank you, Dr. Rana. You don't need to thank me, Geet. I'll call you when the specialists arrive, he added. I'll always be here, he assured her again, and she nodded. Grateful. Scene shift. Shashank arrived for his rounds. Meanwhile, Geet went to meet her mother-in-law. She shared her pain, her fear, her confusion. All she truly wanted was to win this battle of life, for Abhi, for her family, for herself. Scene shift. Geet sat beside Abhi, who was still unconscious. His tiny hand lay in hers, and she gently caressed it with love and longing. Abhi, get up, baby. Talk to your mama, she whispered, her heart breaking with every word. He'll talk to you once he wakes up, Man's voice came from behind. What are you doing here? Geet asked, startled. That's a good question, but I'm doing what any husband and father would do in this condition, he replied softly. Mr. Khurana, you shouldn't be here. I know what I should and shouldn't do, he said, refusing to budge. Mr. Khurana, you've already done so much for us. You are not obliged to do this. Mrs. Khurana, you need rest. You are talking nonsense, Man said gently, seeing her exhaustion. Please go back. Your family is waiting for you. My family knows I'm with my family, he said lovingly, his gaze resting on her and Abhi. Can you stop flirting, just for once? She huffed. Ma, a cracked little voice murmured. Both turned instantly. Da, the voice came again. Abhi, Geet rushed to him. How are you, baby? Still in pain? I'm so sorry, baby, she said, her voice trembling with joy and sorrow. Tears streamed down her cheeks, but this time, they came from overwhelming happiness. The sound of Mama from his lips was sweeter than anything she had ever heard. How's my champ? Man asked, kneeling beside him. It hurts, but I'm good, Abhi replied bravely. Meera, Geet called. The nurse and Meera quickly arrived to check on him. Hey Abhinav, how are you? It's paining, but I'm good, he repeated with a brave smile. That's great, you are a strong boy. Everyone smiled at his innocent talk. Now I understand why you're so strong. Who gives you milk and Bonvita? Meera asked playfully. Mama, Abhi replied proudly, and Geet muffled her urge to cry aloud. She cupped his face gently. I love you, Abhi, she whispered, her voice trembling. Abhi loves Mama, he said sweetly. I know, Geet replied, and her heart overflowed with emotion. Man stood quietly, smiling at the mother-son duo. There was something profoundly healing about seeing them like this. He pulled out his phone and sent a quick message to Dadi and the rest of the family, letting them know Abhi was awake and talking. Dr. Shashank returned and carefully removed the syringe from Abhi's little hand, the skin around it red and sore from repeated insertions. Abhi flinched. Geet immediately came to his side and held his hand, showering it with countless soft kisses. My Abhi is so strong, she whispered again. Meera sat beside him, speaking gently and checking his vitals. Abhi answered her questions with surprising clarity for a child his age. Geet lovingly caressed his face, brushing away stray strands of hair from his forehead. Man spoke to Shashank in a low voice. Doctor, will everything be okay now? Dr. Shashank nodded reassuringly. Yes, he's out of danger. We'll monitor him for a few days to be sure. When can we leave? Shashank smiled. Are you getting bored here, Mr. Khurana? Not at all, Dr. Shashank, Man replied with a polite chuckle. At least 5 more days of observation, the doctor said firmly. Thank you, doctor, Man said, visibly relieved. Scene shift night. Later that night, Meera came in to administer an injection. Meena auntie, it hurts, Abhi whimpered sadly. But my Abhi told me he's a big boy, and big boys don't cry from injections, right? Meera tried to coax gently. Mama, please, no injection. Abhi pleaded, his eyes filling with tears. Poor Geet's heart broke. She wanted nothing more than to stop it, but she knew this was necessary. Abhi, this will help you get better, baby, she said softly, her own voice shaking. Da. He turned to Man, about to cry. Without a moment's delay, Man picked him up into his arms. No one gives an injection if my Abhi doesn't want it, Man said, holding him protectively. Abhi clung to him tightly. You know what, champ? I've never been scared of injections. Dr. Meera, give one to me first. Let's show Abhi how brave his Dada is. And I know, if Dada can take it, then his champ can too, Man said with a wink. Meera smiled at the playful plan and pretended to inject Man, gently pressing the needle without breaking skin. Abhi's eyes widened. Abhi also not cry. Meena auntie, give it to me, he said bravely. Geet looked on, touched beyond words by Man's gesture. Meera thanked Man silently and administered the injection to Abhi. He flinched but didn't cry. Some time later, sleep slowly took over, and Abhi drifted off in Geet's arms. I am so grateful to you, Mr. Khurana, Geet said, emotion cracking through her calm. Really, Geet? He said with his signature teasing tone. Geet shook her head. Can you ever be serious? I don't think so, he answered after mock thinking. I don't want to be admitted into the ICU, Geet, he added dramatically. Geet glared at him, and Man fell silent immediately. She knew arguing with him was pointless, it only led to more teasing and flirting. Do you have some clothes to change into? She asked, folding a blanket. Yes, Dave dropped them off earlier, he said. Then go and change. Why don't you help me? Look at me, I've lost so much blood, he said with an innocent expression, clearly trying to charm her. No, Mr. Khurana, you look perfectly fine and physically fit, Geet shot back flatly. You are so mean, Geet. Mr. Khurana, go and change, she said slowly, raising an eyebrow. Maan obediently left for the washroom. Geet used the moment to prepare the bed for him, arranging pillows and spreading the sheets. When Maan returned, he smirked. Wow, Geet, we're sharing the same bed? Naughty girl, he teased. She turned to him, arms crossed, eyes glaring. Mr. Khurana, if you say one more word, I will throw you out. Believe me, no one will stop me. So better you lie down, shut your mouth, and close your eyes. Good night. Okay, Mom, Maan replied like an obedient student, scared of his teacher. Good night, he added softly. Geet smiled to herself in the dim light, the way he said that brought a lost smile to her face. She turned off the light and sat beside Abhi, gently curling her hand around his tiny one so he wouldn't move and hurt himself again. The whole night, Geet drank coffee to stay awake and watched over her two boys, Abhi and Maan, ensuring they both slept peacefully and safely. As the night stretched on, silence wrapped around them like a blanket. One tiny hand in hers, one stubborn man asleep just a breath away, Geet finally allowed herself to feel something she'd denied for too long. Safety, maybe even belonging. She didn't know what tomorrow held. She didn't dare dream too far ahead. But for now, her son was resting peacefully. And Maan, despite his teasing, despite her resistance, was here. Not pretending, not pushing, just a present. And in that fragile, fleeting moment, Geet realized, maybe pretending was over. Maybe, just maybe, something real had begun. And just like that, in the silence of the night, Geet watches over the two people who mean the world to her. One shared bed, one shared silence, and 1,000 unspoken feelings. If this chapter touched your heart, don't forget to thumbs up, like, speech balloon, comment your favorite moment. Pushpin, subscribe for more emotional journeys. Bell and hit the bell so you never miss a heartbeat. This was chapter 20 of Pretend, only on the Velvet Story, where every tale is wrapped in velvet emotions. See you in the next chapter.